Welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to make trace monotypes using Akua Intaglio inks and the Pastel resist method. The Pastel resist method of trace monotypes allows you to make a print without a lot of excess ink getting on the paper. It gives the same look as a lithograph with the bonus that printing presses are not needed. If you are a teacher, this is a high success method for students, resulting in colorful prints with a high range of values. Trace monotypes were developed in the 17th century. Giovanni Benedetto Castiglione may have been the first to use the method by inking a plate and drawing on paper to create an impression on the other side. Other artists that have used trace monotypes are William Blake, Edgar Degas, and Paul Gauguin. Here are the supplies used in today's pastel resist trace monotype. BFK Reeves lightweight buff paper. You can use thicker paper, it creates a thicker, fuzzier line. Chalk pastels, tape, number 2 pencil, and a mechanical pencil, a rubber brayer, Akua Intaglio inks, and plexiglass printing plates. Some optional supplies include colored pencils and a light table. I'm making a 4 by 6 inch print, so I've lightly drawn a 4 by 6 inch rectangle on the paper. Next, using very light lines and little detail, I draw an outline of my subject. In this case, it's a hand pose from traditional Indian dance. Now, flip the paper over so the blank side is up. Place it on a light table. Lightly trace the 4 by 6 rectangle and very lightly indicate by few outlines where the subject is drawn from the other side. Add color with the chalk pastels. These pastels will act as a resist to keep the ink from going where you don't want it to go. Gently rub the pastels into the paper with a paper towel. The trick is to add the pastels, but not too much. Set this aside so you can mix the ink. Akua Intaglio inks are super easy to mix and use. Akua Intaglio's soy-based formulation offers unmatched working properties. It will not skin over in the jar or dry on the printing plate. Cleanup is very easy with just soap and water. The hues are very rich. Mix your ink colors and roll out ink with your brayer. The trick here is to get a nice even coat on your brayer. I put tape on the other side of the printing plate to show where the printing area will be. Roll a light to medium coat inside the printing area on the printing plate. Make it as consistent as possible. You can wipe the excess ink away from the edges of your printing area with a paper towel. Since Akua inks will not dry out on the plate, you can take your time on the next steps. Place your paper chalk side down facing the printing plate. I used the light table to help me match up the chalked areas with the inked plate. Use a little bit of tape to create 2 hinges along one edge. Make sure the chalk side is down on the ink and the lightly drawn outline is up facing you. Use the mechanical pencil to outline the subject. Be sure to only press where you want the line to show up. The harder you press, the darker the line. Start lightly at first to get a feel for it, then check the line by flipping the paper up. Switch to the number 2 pencil to add value shading and details. Be sure to draw lightly at first. As you add more detail, check your progress by flipping the paper up. You can add deeper values by pressing harder with your pencil. Here's the final print. See how the ink only sticks where I press down and not on the pastel areas? That's the resist part of the process. You can embellish the print with different media. In this case, I'm using colored pencil. If you'd like, using what's left on the inking plate, you can create a ghost print. Cleanup is super easy. Just use damp paper towels on the plate and on the brayer. I hope you enjoy creating your own pastel resist trace monotypes with Akua Intaglio inks from Speedball.